Somewhere along the way, the word LARPing escaped the forest. It used to mean grown adults swinging foam swords. Now you'll see it in the replies under a guy posting from a rented Lamborghini. Under a philosopher who's read exactly one page of Nietzsche. Under a hardened operator who has never once enlisted. Same word, brand new meaning. Because online, LARPing doesn't mean playing a wizard anymore. It means playing yourself. A version of yourself that doesn't quite exist yet. And there are levels to it. This is LARPing Explained. But before we get into it, here's how a word for a nerdy weekend hobby became the internet's favorite insult. It started literal, live-action roleplay. Foam swords, latex armor, people pretending to be elves in a park. Then the internet borrowed it. Because if those people were dressing up and pretending to be knights, then the guy online pretending to be a millionaire was doing the exact same thing, just without the costume. So LARPing jumped from a hobby to an accusation. And then something strange happened. People started doing it on purpose, as a strategy. LARP is the person you want to become. In about 10 years, the word went from a description to an insult to advice. Keep that whole journey in mind, because all three meanings are still alive at once. Here's the modern definition. LARPing is performing an identity you haven't actually earned yet. You pick a character, the disciplined guy, the high-value man, the millionaire, the monk, and you wear him. Except the costume isn't armor anymore. It's your posts. It's your vocabulary. It's your morning routine, filmed. And here's the important part. It's not the same as lying. A catfish pretends to be a different person. A LARPer is rehearsing a version of himself, one he's hoping to grow into. That's the whole distinction. LARPing is aspirational. It's a dress rehearsal for a person who may or may not ever show up. And the strangest part? The internet turned it into a skill you can study. There are how-to LARP guides, there are tier lists, there are entire coaching businesses built on it. So let's actually break it down, because LARPing isn't one thing, it's a ladder. First, why? Online, identity is cheap to try on. In real life, becoming a new kind of person takes years, and a lot of failing in front of people who know you. On a screen, you can put on a whole self this afternoon, and no one can check the receipts. And the algorithm doesn't reward the person, it rewards the character. The confident one, the extreme one, the aesthetic one. So the incentive is baked in. Post the guy you wish you were, and the numbers go up. LARPing isn't a glitch in internet culture. It's the logical response to it. And every platform grows its own species of LARP. On LinkedIn, everyone's a visionary founder on a relentless journey, turning a normal Tuesday into a 3-paragraph parable about grit. On Twitter, everyone's a geopolitical analyst and a philosopher who somehow mastered every field at once. On Instagram, it's the highlight reel, the thin sliver of a life where everything is aesthetic and nothing is ever boring. The platform doesn't just host the LARP, it decides which character gets paid. Pick the one that fits the feed, and the feed rewards you for it. And if this feels new, it isn't. People have always performed the person they wanted to be. The peacock fanning its tail, the midlife sports car, keeping up with the neighbors, dressing for the job you want, not the job you have. Status has always been a costume you wear in public. The internet just changed two things. It made the costume free, and it made the audience infinite. You used to LARP for your street. Now you LARP for everyone, all the time, on a highlight reel that never sleeps. Same instinct humans have always had. New arena, higher stakes, no intermission. And this is the part people miss. LARPing has depth. Think of it as 4 levels. Level 1, the aesthetic, the shallow end. You change the profile picture, you buy the fit, you post the sunset from the balcony. Nothing about your actual life has changed. You've just updated the packaging. Level 2, the vocabulary. Now you talk the talk. You've got the quotes, the buzzwords, the "we're so back," the "stay hard." You sound like the character, even if you don't live like him. Level 3, the routine. This is where it gets real. You're actually doing the cold showers, the 5 a.m. alarm, the gym, the reading list. Your behavior is finally catching up to the costume. And level 4, the identity. There's no costume anymore. It's fused to your skin. You don't LARP the character, you are him. And at that point, a strange question shows up. Was it ever really LARPing? Hold that thought. Because the other axis is which character you pick, and the internet ships a starter pack, the hustler, grind set, laptop on a beach, rise and grind, selling you the course that teaches you to sell the course. The high-value man, Sigma, Alpha, gym maxed, cold, never chase. The Stoic, Marcus Aurelius as an entire personality, disciplined screenshots, detach from everything, feel nothing. The Tradwife, sourdough, homestead, a whole 1950s aesthetic beamed through a modern phone. The Doomer, the inverse LARP, nihilism is a brand, it's over, nothing matters, posted daily, with impressive consistency for someone who believes nothing matters. The Enlightened, the Guru, the Energy, the Manifestation, the ayahuasca story you didn't ask for. The Operator, plate carrier, tactical everything, prepping for a war that is perpetually about to start. And the Intellectual, quoting books by their covers, as Dostoevsky said, the confidence of a man who watched the video essay but never opened the page. But the roster runs deeper than that. There's the finance guy. Candlestick charts, we're so back, down bad, a portfolio that's either a rocket ship or a wreck, depending on the week. There's the digital nomad, coconut, laptop, infinity pool, location independent, quietly wondering when the savings run out. There's the reformed man, the redemption arc, monk mode, deleted the apps, day one of the rest of his life, again. There's the old money LARP, quiet luxury, no logos, pretending the effort you put into looking effortless doesn't count. There's the revolutionary, the keyboard radical, ready to tear down the whole system between 2 food deliveries. And there's the artist, the process shots, the aesthetic, the persona of a creator that's somehow bigger than anything they've actually made. Different costumes, the exact same move, and you know every single one of them. You might be one of them. So how do you spot a LARP? Honestly, while it's working, you don't. A LARP is invisible right up until reality contradicts it. The tell is always the same, the gap between the persona and the receipts. The millionaire whose card gets declined, the monk who's furious in the comment section, the high-value man who is, very clearly, desperately online. Nobody gets exposed by their costume. They get exposed by the distance between the costume and their actual life. That's the entire mechanic. LARPing only becomes visible when the real world asks it to prove something. And not all of it is loud. There's a soft version almost everyone runs without noticing. The version of you in a job interview, the calmer, funnier you on a first date. The you that talks one way around your boss and a completely different way around your friends. You're not lying. You're just presenting a slightly upgraded edit. That's the accidental LARP, and it's so normal we don't even flag it. The difference between that and the guy with the rented Lambo isn't the behavior. It's the size of the gap, and whether he knows the gap is there. But here's what makes this more than a punchline. Go back to level 4, because at the deepest level, LARPing and becoming are the exact same motion. Every discipline you respect started as somebody acting like they already had it. The confident person rehearsed confidence in a mirror first. The writer called themselves a writer before it was true. Fake it till you make it is just LARPing with a better publicist. So the honest question was never, is he LARPing? Everyone is LARPing something. The real question is the gap and whether it's closing. Some LARPs are a person under construction, and the costume is just scaffolding. And some LARPs are a costume with nothing being built behind it. A permanent rehearsal for a show that never opens. Same exact behavior, opposite endings. And on day one, from the outside, they look identical. So here's the uncomfortable part. A quick way to check yourself. Ask, if the audience disappeared tomorrow, if no one could ever see it, would you still do this? If the answer is yes, it's probably becoming. If the answer is no, it might just be a costume. Then ask, is the gap between who you post and who you are getting smaller every month, or are you just getting better at hiding it? One of those is growth. The other is set design. Nobody here is fully honest, and that's fine. The point was never to stop LARPing. The point is to know when you're doing it. So the next time you call someone a LARPer, you're probably right. The job title you're growing into. The relationship you're performing before you fully feel it. The confidence you fake walking into a room. That's all LARPing too. The costume almost always comes first. The only thing that actually matters is whether you ever grow into it. I'm Vellum. Subscribe and be honest with yourself about which one you are.